So getting into the astrology, I'm going to go ahead and start with this past week. It is Sunday, June 1st right now. And so going back to Monday, on Monday we had a new moon in Gemini, and I wonder how that went for everybody, because it was a really good opportunity, not just to sort of reset on your own creative cycle, but to include people in what it is that you're trying to do going forward. We had Mercury in a cooperative conversation with Neptune. That was an air and fire vibration that really allowed us to talk about what we idealize, what we dream. And our idealizations right now really make us want to take action. Like the stuff that we feel idealistic about, the stuff that we believe, the stuff that is, somewhat on a spiritual level or a level of spiritual importance for us, really is asking us to make a start and take action right now. So that's what we're having a conversation about at the beginning of the week is really like what we idealize, what would be ideal for us going forward, and how we're going to make an active start in that direction. And then on Tuesday, Mercury made a trine to Pluto. So that's Mercury at home in Gemini, very powerful, trining Pluto at the beginning of Aquarius. And wow, Pluto has all the power. Pluto is the power. Pluto is like the undergirding power of everything. And so when Mercury is like in this state of grace, it's almost as though we can trust our guts. We can trust what's coming up from underneath. We can trust that intuitive knowing that we have. Shouldn't be a sense of foreboding necessarily with that trine, but really it's just really easy to get understanding and to rely on your intuition, starting on Tuesday and going through about Friday. So if you had any intuitive vibrations, Jennifer, what do you think was happening for you between Tuesday and Friday?
Tuesday of next week and Friday?
This Friday.
Oh.
This past Tuesday through Friday.
Oh, the past Tuesday through Friday. I've really been making plans and putting things into action slowly into my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a surprise of an old friend that I got reacquainted with. So, making space for that person in my life, because honestly, there's not, I'm just not used to having somebody in my life like that, except for you. And just being willing to have hard conversations with myself,
Mm-hmm.
What also is going to happen here is this person is going to be a mirror of some probably not so great things that I did or said when I was younger.
Yeah.
And remind me of some things that I've done that I'm probably not proud of, or maybe I thought was funny, or maybe even still think is funny, honestly. But I think that I'm going to learn a lot from myself in this mirror of this person that I live with and who I spent a great deal of time with, as we both figure out how to heal together.
Yeah.
Because right now it's about people our age coming in going, like I gotta do something about this, like mine's eating and, like all the habits and addictions. So it's really just about getting down and dirty with those things and being honest with myself and really just kind of letting it go.
Yeah. Yeah. That Mercury trine Pluto does have a little vibration of it, pardon me, of things coming back from the past, right? Like, Erica wasn't just your best friend. I'm sorry, I'm using names. But she was, your primary collaborator at that time. That was the person you were like in a lot of communication with, sharing, even a home with, sharing a lot of things with. And, with that trine to Pluto, it's almost like, you remember you said you drove around the corner and Kiss came on the radio and you're like, I'm going to see her.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. Like I just,
the moment of grace. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I was just so scared to just like walk up to the door. I have no idea why, but sometimes it is like, I just thought that I had done something terrible and that's why, but sometimes it is that kind of like what Nadia said today in her stuff, like it's not what you think it is, like it's nothing. Like, it's just like our lives went on for a minute, we went separate ways. And now for whatever reason, unfortunately, she's lost her mom, which is a big deal. It's a big deal to me. It's like losing another parent for me. But trying to figure out how to move forward from that, I know how to help with that. Like I know how to support somebody through that. And so I think it's a great way. I mean, for me, when I move my, I want to say insecurities, which kind of codependencies around in the past, how I got rid of my anger or my anxiety is I did physical stuff, and then I did, like, I don't know, I just do the best good in my community, and then, I felt a lot. And so I think we're getting back to that.
Yeah. I think there's a small lag between us just because I can hear you in the next room, but we'll just let you know about that.
Okay.
Beautiful. So that's Mercury trine Pluto. Good things happening suddenly, a blessing from the past, a little blast from the past, a collaborator showing up, but also just being able to really like say what is deeply felt in an easy way, in a loving and compassionate way, so that we can be, tell the people that you love them. I mean, that's really important. You have to let people in on how you're feeling about them, or they don't know. Okay, so that's the vibe I get from that. And then on Thursday, with the moon in Cancer, the sun and Mercury had a cazimi in Gemini. Sun and Mercury in Gemini. I mean, Mercury is so powerful in Gemini, like the communication vibe is very strong. The words, the intellect vibration is very strong. It's about those thoughts and those plans you're making and the people you're talking to get these things done. Often like day-to-day business, often like the short-term traveling around that you do. So the sun in conjunction with Mercury, this happens a few times a year, but it's really a spotlight thrown on those communications, a spotlight thrown on those plans, perhaps like an intensification even of planning and collaboration, especially in our work, social, and civic lives, our outward facing lives, the people where we have to show up and be our best. So, so that's the Sun conjunct Mercury cazimi, which happened on Thursday. Anything you want to say about that, Jennifer?
Yes, I put this in the chat, but I could definitely tell. I think a couple of times I said to you, like, moon in Cancer, because I really just wanted to be underneath a blanket in my cozy chair watching TV. I made like a meal that was, very kind of intense for me to
Mm-hmm.
make. It was just like a very warm, hearty Alfredo with broccoli, and I steamed the broccoli just like from head to toe. It was great. But that's definitely how my energy absorbed the Cancer moon through all that, just as a rest and a reset, maybe a little bit too. And you know what? I think that I didn't get out of bed a few of those days. Like I didn't get out of bed very quickly.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're
Cancer moon.
usually up pretty early, but sometimes you make it to like 7 or 7:30.
Yeah. Definitely in a Cancer moon scenario, I make it that late.
Yeah, Cancer moon definitely has me wanting to stay home. I'm really glad that happened on my days off this week. So,
Right.
um, and what about information? What did we have? Did anything special come out on Thursday? That's
Oh, was that the day? So I experienced the Gemini, like our bank, Capital One,
oh
um,
my gosh.
double debited our account,
Mm-hmm.
which put our account in the negative and cost us another overdraft fee with a whole other, like, none of
Business.
our stuff went through. And it was just like, not only that, but then another whole separate, I don't even remember what the other entity was, but the same kind of thing happened. Like I had to do everything like double and triple. And then I just had to step aside from it and let it just work itself out. I knew if I made any phone calls or anything, like I'd be making them twice. I'd be making them
Yeah.
4 times. And I just thought, and so a couple of days later, like we were without, over $100 of our money for several days. But then
Mm-hmm.
they're sending us a message going, "Oh, we're so sorry. We had this problem." And my direct deposit came late. And I was trying to blame the federal government, but it's probably my damn bank. So now I'm looking into changing banks because we were out of our money so many times with this place, like for no reason.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
really?
spotlight on Gemini themes that can have to do with internet transactions, with financial money transactions, moving money around. That's a kind of communication And also just like, needing to get a point across, not being able to get a point across. It was almost like a little Mercury retrograde that day, probably because the moon was in Cancer.
Right. And I don't know what rules technology, but it was also like a tech thing. I could almost feel like this sneaky hand going,
That's
like I can feel the energy of the vibes of like spam coming through the email. It's just so weird. And it's just like, no, this ain't right. Yeah, no, I had those people calling me over and over and over again. Remember? They just kept calling me spam calls. Oh my gosh. It was all at the same time. Like Gemini.
We love our Gemini friends. We love our Gemini friends.
I absolutely love Geminis. I can talk to them forever.
Okay, so then, moving on to today. Today, Venus is making this conjunction to Chiron, and this brings us up to the present moment. The moon is going to go into Virgo tonight. It's currently in Leo. And for me, I've recently rethought the way I think about the moon in Leo, because people say, moon in Leo, it's your time to shine. It's your time to, look good and appreciate and garner appreciation. All of those things can be true, but also, Leo really points to leadership. And, Leo and the moon is about the home and the body. So it's taking leadership in your home and in your body. It's about the stuff that you're responsible for, taking care of the things that you said you would take care of. And, Leo is that fixed fire that gives us that sustained power to act. So take advantage of the moon and Leo vibes while you can. It's going to move on into Virgo tonight. And that's when I start getting a little more particular and wanting to sort things out, right? But before the moon goes into Virgo tonight, Venus is going to conjunct Chiron in Aries. Venus and Chiron, both in Aries, meeting up in the sky. From our perspective, they look as though they're in the same place. They really are not. But from our perspective, symbolically, that's Venus, which is how we attract, how we magnetize what it is that we need and desire, combined and under pressure with Chiron, which is about wounds that we're trying to heal. Chiron connects us to a deeper wisdom. Chiron was a teacher. Chiron was a great healer. And Chiron also had a wound that he could not heal. So, this is our personal needs and desires sort of connecting up with that greater wisdom of how healing is done, so that we can apply that wisdom to the things that we're trying to heal. And with Chiron in Aries, it's very much about wounds of childhood. It's been like this for years. It's about noticing, like, we all know what hurt us as children, and very few of us escape childhood without getting hurt by some things. And it's really about discovering what no longer hurts, really noticing what we no longer have to be defensive against, keeping it from happening ever again, right? Because we just know it's not going to happen anymore. So it's a good moment, I think, just to be receptive to that understanding of what brings about healing, so that you can hone in on what's going to help you put some things behind you. Does that make sense? So, go ahead.
Yes, but can you remind us what that transit is that you're talking about again? It's a Venus aspect.
Venus conjuncting Chiron.
Okay, so Venus conjuncting Chiron, we're healing and going away from those childhood wounds.
Yeah, we're receptive to the knowledge that helps us know what we need.
Gotcha. That sounds like a really great. This sounds like this sounds like it can be a difficult time. So if you are healing inner wounds, hopefully, you're doing that with a trusted friend, a trusted journal, some music, whatever ways it is that you can reground yourself, meditate, pray, whatever it is that makes you feel more connected to the universe, more connected to us, your community, the people around you who are supporting you, even though you don't know us, we're still there supporting you. So if you're going through that this week, it may feel a little difficult at first, but you're just going to get a release from it like ever. So celebrate both.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's today. And now we can start to talk about next week.
Okay. Well, so I just want to say we're at 10:30, and
Yeah.
so if you're here for the tarot card reading for next week, it's going to be another 15 minutes.
Yeah. And I see Hector down there has a specifically.
I've already addressed Hector. I've got that under
Got
control.
it.
So right
Okay.
now we're going to start Astrology Today for next week.
Okay. So tomorrow is Monday, and we have the waxing half moon in Virgo. Waxing half moon is when we kind of stop planning, tie up the planning phase of what we're going to achieve over the next couple of weeks, and move into action. So in Virgo, this is a very sorting out vibe, sort of getting particular, getting granular, making sure the little details are worked out, and then like acting on them in the specific way that they need to be acted on. Uh, as we move toward the full moon, which will be next Wednesday. Okay, so it's between now and next Wednesday that we're really trying to get some accomplishments, meet some goals, finish up some work, so that when we get to that full moon next Wednesday, we can pat ourselves on the back and say, "Hey, I did something this month. I achieved something. I got a little bit closer to my greater goals." Okay, um, you know I used to know somebody who liked to use the analogy of the elephant, as in how how do you carve up an elephant and eat it? You can't eat the whole thing at once. You have to take it in small pieces. Is all that means. How do you build a brick house? You build it brick by brick. You don't just dump all the bricks in one place and it's a house. Okay, so. Little things, little accomplishments make a difference. And we want to have some to celebrate by the time we have that full moon next Wednesday. That starts today.
Full moon in what zodiac sign?
That full moon will be in Sagittarius.
Okay.
Fiery full moon.
I was going to guess Libra, but I guess a couple of, nope, not this time.
Should be a hot full moon too. 11th of June. And then tomorrow is Tuesday. The moon will still be in Virgo. There's really not much significant happening. As we move on into Wednesday, the moon will move on into Libra. And when the moon moves into Libra, it becomes more about the balance in our relationships. Are we getting as good as we give? Are we giving as good as we get? Excuse me. And that has to do also with the things that we're working on accomplishing, those goals we're trying to meet. Are we giving as good as we need to get what we want from the situation, right? And then also that day, Venus has this sextile to Jupiter, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful vibration. It's a really happy, loving vibration. We talked about this yesterday, Jennifer. Isn't this Venus sextile Jupiter the one that is in George Michael's chart? Yeah.
Yes, he does have that in his natal chart.
Well, I don't really remember what I was reading about this vibration, but it tells me that there's a cooperative feeling between this person's sense of what they want, and the growth that they desire to experience. Okay, it's a minor benefic and a major benefic, the minor benefic and the major benefic. So these are two very blessing kind of vibrations coming together in a cooperative manner to help us receive or reach out to whatever we think will bring us closer to those bigger, better goals that we have for ourselves. Okay, so Venus just had this conjunct with Chiron saying, I know what I need to heal. Okay. I'm finding out what I need to heal. That's what we're doing right now. And then coming up on Wednesday, it's almost like I'm opening myself up to what I need to grow. It's opening myself up to what I need to do bigger business, to do the traveling I want to do, to get that higher education that I want to do, to expand my life in all the positive directions that I'd like to.
I want to say I do have a little snippet about Venus sextile Jupiter transit. If you would like for me to read it, it's very quick. It's from my show yesterday. It's the information you gave me. So, do you mind?
No, not at all.
Okay, I think we're having a delay. So, all right. So, Venus sextile Jupiter brings growth and good fortune, as she said. It is a pleasant, loving, and creative influence that encourages cooperation, peace, and harmony. It is ideal for relaxing, partying, making money, and making love. And I love that it's Pride Month. You should feel warm and happy inside and want to share all the good feelings. This transit indicates good luck, and you may receive gifts, money, or compliments, which is awesome. Socializing is favored because of your increased popularity, charisma, and charm. You will most likely be looking and feeling your best. Sex is a great way to share your affections right now, and now will be more attract. You will be more than attractive than usual because of the Venus aspect. She attracts. This is an excellent time for dating. If you're single, making friends comes easily. New friendships will be genuine and mutually beneficial, just like Mel was talking about. Setting off on a journey is favored, especially long distance travel, and you would learn a lot about other cultures and broaden your outlook on life. I actually know a few people who are traveling abroad right now. Financial investments and business deals are also preferred, but good luck applies to higher education and the law. All of your interactions and dealings should be cooperative and satisfying. Like, ask the Christies how they feel about this Venus aspect being of prison. Ask the Chrisleys how they feel about that aspect, because I bet they feel pretty damn good.
They probably do. So yes, it's a very lighthearted, partying, loving, even sexy kind of vibration. I think it's a great way to be starting off Pride Month, and we really sort of peak that vibration this Wednesday, but it will carry through with us till next week sometime. So this weekend should be a good time to get out there and enjoy some Pride festivities with your friends and loved ones. So then we go into Thursday, and Mercury is going to have a cooperative conversation with Mars. This is our intellect, our thoughts, our plans, our communications, right? Cooperating with our sense of initiative, our sense of ambition. So, Mercury's in Gemini, doing its best communicating, making its best plans, and Mars is in Leo, which is one of its favorite places to be. Mars is in Leo, like finally moving forward, finally getting to do some sustained action toward our goals. These are both personal planets. So, we're thinking about it and we're enacting our plans, and it feels so easy, so good, and it feels like really good things are coming from it. That's what Mercury sextile Mars says to me.
And I love that Mercury is on the move all week. I know we haven't gotten through that, but it's really about communicating. It's about singing your voice out loud. It's about keeping it quiet. It's about putting your voice in everything that you do, putting yourself, putting your voice and like putting these things together and separating them out at the same time. It's beautiful.
Yeah. We don't really separate ourselves so much from our intellect. And part of that is, part of putting your heart into what you do. Gemini is about connecting with other people, but it's also just about creativity. It is about using your imagination and also using the imaginations of the people around you who are sharing their ideas so that we can build bigger, stronger, more creative, playful, loving, beautiful ideas. Gemini is very loving at its heart. The story behind Gemini is that one twin would not go without the other twin. So, we want to bring everybody along with us on this Pride journey. Okay, it's not just about any one person; it is about all of us. so yeah, that Mercury with Mars, especially on this first week of Pride, really, really makes me happy just in terms of like, yeah, I can plan it and I can do it. I can plan it again and I can do it. And it can happen very quickly. Mercury and Mars are both pretty fast moving as well. And then on Friday, Mercury again has a cooperative conversation, this time with Chiron in Aries. So Mercury in Gemini doing its best communicating and planning. Chiron in Aries talking to us about those wounds of childhood and what we have healed from, what we can heal from, what we can let go of at this point. And, you know, Mercury in that cooperative conversation just means we're thinking about that stuff. It's in our conversation. It's part of our plan to receive that healing. We had a conversation this Sunday, today, with Venus and Chiron that was about, really receiving the information, knowing what it is that's going to help us heal. So coming up on Friday, we're going to have an opportunity to have a conversation with somebody about that and make a plan going forward for our healing. I think that's a really good mental health vibe. I think that's a good time to be talking to, a therapist or a counselor, somebody that you trust with your mental health.
So I think both of us have therapy appointments on Thursday. I'm having a therapy appointment with a friend having lunch on Wednesday. And I think that's going to turn into another therapy appointment between the two of us on Friday. And then you're going to get your therapy appointment on Friday as well. So we're riding that Mercury train, baby.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. And then, next Saturday, I haven't been taking you all the way through the moons. The moon goes into Scorpio on Friday. Moon in Scorpio is a time for introspection. It is a time for diving deep on your own stuff, whether you want to think of that as BS or hurts or harms or troubles or worries, diving deep on what it is in here that you really feel about it, and sort of getting rid of some old bullshit. If you have some old BS in there that you can get rid of, the personal clearing is with the moon in Scorpio. And the moon is in Scorpio all weekend, Saturday and Sunday as well. So it's a very sensual vibration, moon in Scorpio. If we're out there enjoying and celebrating Pride, it's a pretty good sign for sexy times, or at least for connecting with people in, that we're attracted to, that we're drawn to, or, Sun and Mercury and Gemini, just connecting with people in general, connecting with our cohort, our collaborators. So it's really a great time just to be like among the people that we feel support us, and that, where we feel like we can be our authentic best is that moon in Scorpio this coming weekend. And then at the very end of the week, which is a week from today, Mercury is going to conjunct, meet up in the sky with Jupiter. So we've had some Jupiter vibes this week about expansion, about long distance travel, doing bigger business, connecting in a bigger way with the world at large. And we've had some conversations with Mercury, which is about the conversation and the plan. So on Sunday, those two meet up in the sky, combined under pressure. Communication can get a little bit explosive. It can proliferate. It's almost like too much information, almost, more information than we really want. That Mercury, that conjunction in energy is not really either positive or negative. It's what we're going to make of it. So expect a lot of information to come through this weekend, especially on Sunday and probably Monday, but especially on Sunday. Yeah.
Protect thy energy.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the fucks to give, don't give them away. And even if it is that someone really desperately thinks that they need your fucks, and you can't give them, don't. I mean, because right now, if I feel like right now, we will both be confronted with a way that we can really go forward and heal, supported by the love and uplift of the universe and the magic of the astrology. And I'm being serious about this.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like we're going to be confronted with ways in which we can distract ourselves again. And it's like all of those old distractions are going to come in and new distractions are going to come in. And the more they take us off course and the longer they take us off course, the more we are really, really going to go off course for our own personal lives, for our own personal healing. And I know that I'm in a position where a lot of people look to me for advice, for resources, and I love that. But I think this is where I'm going to learn, you know, how much of that I can take on and how I want to participate in that. And in lieu of, because I do it instead of dealing with my own shit,
Mhm.
it's a form of avoidance, like, oh, you need my help? Well, let me drop everything. And I've stopped that
Mhm.
with the help of therapists. But, uh, this is going to be the test right now. I really feel like there's going to be some tests in here. Like, I think it's a great vibe. And I think it's a great vibe to talk and really get it out and to get to the bottom of things and bring out that grief and bring out that darkness that's been sitting in a corner right now. Shine some light on it and let it dissipate. But we're also going to have some other things being thrown at us, trying to make us think that we have to take care of that first. And we always must put ourselves first. Even if we're moms, even if we feel like everybody else relies on us, if we're not here, then we can't be there for everybody else.
Yeah, if you
It's,
don't take care of yourself, how are you gonna take care of anybody else? Yeah.
yeah. And start shit. If you don't
What is
start,
it? Do
it
gay,
won't.
be crime.
Yeah.
Eat tacos.
Right. So, Mel, can you remind me just briefly we went through the whole week. Can you
Mhm.
tell me what today's vibe is like for people who are just going to get started here as we end astrology today?
Yes, today, is the intensity of that Venus conjuncting to Chiron. So, we really want to be receptive to information about feeling better, about mending fences, about healing, about solving our problems. We want to be open to finding out what it is that is going to give us that healing. Okay, and if that means like Venus in Aries, which is not a very comfortable fit for Venus, but very bold for Venus, knows how to reach out and grab, go after, ask for out loud what it is that we want. So it's really a good vibration for it, because when I think to myself, what I think would help me with this shoulder pain, I think it would be a nice massage. Then Venus in Aries says, well, book a massage. You got to be in it to win it.
Are you taking my
so
personal?
So listen to yourself, listen to your body, pay attention to your relationships, notice what's helping other people, ask yourself what will help you,
Mhm.
and go after it.
Mhm. And
That's
we're going to be exploring these themes on our channel here. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, hit the notifications bell. I'm going to be doing some readings. We do free tarot readings on Thursday nights. I mean, we're live all over the place. Mel goes live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're going to shift here from the Astrology Today portion of our Astro Insights live and focus on a tarot card reading by my sweet Mel Rose.
yes. Okay.